Hello, thank you for watching. I am talking to KK Diaz, who is an author and a speaker and an entrepreneur of note.
Thank you.
Book number 4 and 5 are out, and he's busy working on the next lot. And I want to ask you about your state of being. How do you work on it when you begin to work on a book? What sort of state of mind are you in, and what's your process?
So I'm smiling because it's not going to be that clean and
Traditional,
right?
Okay.
The work starts before I'm even conscious in a way that this is content that's going to end up in the book. But when I do decide that I'm going to write a book, I simply go back to my files in my head and webinars that I would have done, presentations that I would have done, blog articles that I would have done, right? And I decide, do I want to write a 10,000 word book? Do I want to write 20,000? How impactful do I want this book to be? That's where I start, and then that determines the length of the book, and I simply structure the number of chapters. The first draft is not always the last draft, right, in terms of the number of chapters and so forth. I'll reiterate over a period of sometimes weeks, sometimes it takes me years. Okay,
wow.
2 of my books have taken me years to write, but because I wanted to take that time.
Right.
So what do? I list chapters, right? High level. And underneath each chapter, I will list 4 key subsections.
The learnings.
Okay. That's where I start.
Great.
And I step back, and then I go into my archives of content, and I simply plug them in. I literally copy and paste.
Okay. Now I do sense, you're a really disciplined kind of person, because you could go and put the structure together up front, and then at times that suit you, you can come back to.
But that's literally what I do.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
That's
wonderful.
why sometimes it takes me years.
Longer.
Yeah.
But you can get into that same focus. Now back to my initial question, I think that you're the kind of disciplined person who can have a rough day and still go and sit down and on your computer, or do you write by hand?
By computer. Yeah, I can't do the. So for me, the reason why I don't do pen on paper is because I'm trying to shorten the process.
Yes.
I don't want to do that and then
transcribe.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm very comfortable writing directly to computer.
Your thinking process, is that on paper, or because I know you run around with a notepad, you write a lot of your stuff down, and that's an interesting process for me, because it's different to sitting in front of a computer with a blank screen.
Yes.
So is that a good starting point for you?
I start in different ways.
Okay.
Sometimes I've dreamt some of my methodologies.
Wow. Okay.
And I see them, visually clear, and I'll wake up and I'll draw it.
Right. Okay.
And I'll go back to sleep.
Okay.
Right. Or I'll wake up with a couple of paragraphs in my head. Maybe I'll do audio. I'll record audio to myself for later, or I'll write it in a notebook. So it really depends on where I am. What kind of environment there is. What I have learned is it's very important that when the ideas come, that you put them down. That
is key, isn't it? Because a day or two later, you may not have, it's not so close to you anymore.
5 minutes later,
it's gone.
5 minutes later, it's gone. Right? And
I just said you're a really focused person.
Some of them are gems that I don't want to lose, and I've learned to deal with that part of the process.
Excellent. And then tell me a little bit about your process from there. We talked about how you planned a series of books to work together.
Yeah.
So in your mind, you have the overriding idea, and you know where the different books are going to plug in. What are you working on next, for example?
Okay, so the book that the big book, full feature book that I'm working on is called The A-Game Business Leader, and it's really around leadership, going back to the entrepreneurial stuff I've done. So the A-Game Business Blueprint is really about how to grow a business, and the A-Game Business Leader is about how to evolve from that person who started and grows this business into somebody who can one day leave the business after having established a leadership platform, after you've equipped and empowered your people to run their business. So that's what that book is about. But I have a sense, especially after having written these last 2, that there'll probably be another 4 before I can put that one out, because now I've seen what the process is for books under 10,000 words.
So you self-publish?
Yes.
You self-publish.
Yes.
Do you want to comment on that a little bit about the process? It's new. I hear that there are things like print on demand, so you could just have one book printed and so on. So there's some pretty interesting developments in that space.
100%. So the beauty of what I've done with these last 2 books is there was no paper at all, no paper involved. And because I'm somebody who loves gadgets, who loves digital, who loves technology, I said I'm going to try this process this time around without printing books like I did with these, the first 3. And literally after it was edited, I gave it to Otto, the designer that I've always worked with, and they went directly to Amazon.
Amazing.
Yeah. I literally got the books from him last week, Friday. Monday I uploaded them. It's supposed to take 3 days to be to go live.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning when I got up, it was live.
Amazing. And you're out there and you published.
That's it.
That is
I'm getting interviewed.
And you're getting interviewed. Really, really great inspiration. Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing information.
It's a pleasure. So I guess the point or the takeaway here is don't necessarily follow the traditional publishing route.
Yeah. Definitely.
And don't necessarily aim to be a bestseller right off the bat, unless if that's what you want. You know, for me, it wasn't necessarily the aim. Yeah. The aim was to put it out there.
Excellent.
And to get the process done.
Great.
And not to rely or wait for a publisher.
Yeah.
This last point I want to make around this is it's in the same thing that I tell musicians and artists, right, or recording artists and bands. Don't wait for a contract. Don't wait for a deal.
Get out there and do it.
Because nobody's going to give it to. Things have evolved. Nobody's just going to give it to you because you know how to sing. It's about, can you prove what you've done?
Yes.
I mean, you'd laugh at this, but 2018 late, after I had written the 3 books, right, I still can't get a publishing deal.
That's crazy.
And now if I had waited,
you wouldn't have had it out there.
I would have omitted having published 5 books. So don't wait. You know?
This is the second time around today that this message comes to me. Get out there and do it. Is absolutely it. 100%. But I'm going to do another clip and I want to ask you about some publishing and more around this topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.